Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. Evening, Philip. You can probably guess it's been quite a busy night here on the channel. When I went up to Barnes & Noble over the weekend, I did pick up a couple new cookbooks for Mystical Munchies that I've been looking through, but I also had a copy of Vantage catch my eye from Stonemaier Games. 3 games left in your 2025 NCAA basketball tournament. Nice! Who's your Final Four for that? So we're going to crack Vantage open and see what I think and see what's in the box. Now, Stonemaier Games, I've kind of had a hit and miss relationship with. More miss than hit, I should say. The Span Games and Scythe, I both bounced pretty hard off of. But I really liked Expeditions, and from what I've seen of Vantage, and my ChatGPT engine is telling me that it's something that should be right up my alley. Looks interesting, different, nice on your Final Four. So let's crack this open. Man, this thing's heavy. We'll find out why. Vantage is an open-world cooperative adventure game featuring an entire planet to explore in standalone sessions that begin with players scattered randomly across the world. With nearly 800 interconnected locations on cards and over 900 other discoverable cards, the world is your sandbox. You begin each game of Vantage on an intergalactic vessel heading towards an uncharted planet with one of 21 missions as your primary goal. Each player selects one of 6 unique characters, enters a single-person escape pod, and crashes onto one of 126 different locations. You view your location from a first-person perspective. You can communicate with and support other players, but you are separated by vast distances, so only you can see your current location. You have complete freedom in how you explore, discover, and interact with the planet. And Philip's Final Four is Michigan State versus Florida and Duke versus Houston. Wow. 3 number 1 seeds coming through and a 2. That sounds like a very stacked Final Four. Anyway, let's crack this open and see what we've got in the box. I'm surprised when Jester's played this game on the channel a couple times. He hasn't gone on a rant yet about how this is a game that should be square up my alley, and he's surprised I haven't picked it up yet. My ChatGPT engine is basically telling me the exact same thing, where this looks like a game that should be square in my wheelhouse. But man, this thing is heavy. Let's crack this open and see what we've got in here. This looks to be our game board. It is double-sided, so I don't know if there's a mode, if one of these is going to be for solo or for multiplayer. And of course it doesn't, well, I wonder. Never mind, that's not going to tell me. I was latching onto maybe an icon down here in the lower right corner, but I don't think this is going to tell me. I have a feeling this is going to end up being for solo. We've got our punch board in here. Looks like only the one sheet of it, thankfully. We've got all of this banded together. I need to be careful about punching some of this stuff out because I'm not ready for it yet. We've got the rule book that we'll look at. Looks like we've got our various storybooks. Probably won't fit back in the box. It should fit back in the box, I'm thinking. I'm thinking there shouldn't be any problem with that. Alright, we've got the Move storybook, the Look storybook, so these are probably tied to the actions in the game. The Help storybook, the Book of Secrets that I don't want to get into, Book of Vantages, trying not to look into these unless instructed, Engage, Take, Depart, and Overpower. Along with it look like quick references on the back of each one of those. Meaning game has a lot of pieces. Yeah, this one's definitely got a lot of pieces to it. Well, yes, Bumsy, there are a ton of cards in here. Looks like we've got our tokens, I'm sure. We'll get the ever nummy silica gel out so I can hit the bin. That can go toodaloo. But yes, we've got a whole boatload of cards. I'm not even going to try to sleeve this thing. Probably our stands, I'd be willing to bet. We've got a spoiler pack I'm not going to crack open until it instructs me to. A whole mess of cards. Looks like these are all different location cards, and they are numbered. We've got a few different stacks of those. This is one, like I said, this is one game I'm not going to sleeve. A, because you don't shuffle anything from the looks of it. And B, this would be way too many sleeves to try to pick up. And then all of these are, looks like we've got the dice in here. I think this also is going to be one I'm going to need to keep the insert for. Looks like we got a couple of blank. Oh no, we've got the black dice in here as well. So we've got one blank compartment, which will probably end up being, well, I was going to say for all of these, but I doubt that very much. Anyway, definitely colorful. Yeah, I've definitely seen that as well. And I won't have any problems with starting to box stuff up in the... I won't have any problem with boxing stuff up in the top of the box this time, because the only way I'm clearing everything out so I can check under the insert is in my dreams. Anyway, we'll start putting most of this stuff back in the box, see if we can get this back down to a position where it'll actually still close for me. I think that should work if I can press these stands down a little bit further. There we go. That should do. And then we'll zoom in and give the rulebook our cursory thumb through. So we've got our rulebook here. And I love that as part of initial setup, they're telling you before your first game, punch out all skill tokens and coins and unwrap all cards other than the spoiler pack. Keep the cards in numerical order, yada, yada, yada. The part about the punch out all skill tokens and coins and unwrap all cards other than the spoiler pack is kind of telling me, really? You mean I could probably have figured that out myself. Maybe they put a coupon for a future game purchase. I would not be willing to bet on that at all, especially with the state of tariffs right now. That's just my guess, though. I imagine a lot of these game companies, and I know the tariffs have already claimed a few game companies this year, like Greater Than Games, which Jesser's probably still in half mourning for, because that means no more Sentinels of the Multiverse content coming out for that one. So yeah, like I said, I imagine he's still in half mourning for that one. Let's put this in with the rest of the rubber bands. I think these were the rubber bands that I got from Kingsport Festival earlier, so I'm just going to put those back in. And then I'll come back over so we can thumb through the rule book. And yes, as I figured, until instructed to gain a card or read from a storybook, don't look at the content of anything and don't open the spoiler pack. Could have guessed that. We've got our components here. Okay. First game, recommend daring starting level for time, morale, and health, and avoid difficult crash locations. More notes for a starting game. Gameplay overview. Sharing information. Storybooks, solo play. And location cards. Okay. Sample turn and how to take a turn. Okay, explaining how everything works, probably all the dice and the rolled challenge dice. Suffering penalties, all of that. Card grid and what that's for. Looks like this is actually a tableau builder, but we will find out about all of that. Yeah, Jester, I ended up getting it after all. Okay, glossary, special thanks, all that good stuff, and some friendly reminders. I know there's an app or something for this game. I was trying to track that down, but my first playthrough, I'll probably try it out without that. One day I'll have, Bumsy says one day I'll have everything. No, Bumsy, I'm not going to have everything one day. That's a lot of the point of the engine I've been training up on ChatGPT to tell me what games it thinks are going to be a good hit for me and what games are going to be disasters. And in fact, that's a benefit of having Noble Knight that's a benefit of having Noble Knight a couple hours away from me. So I know if anything flops completely. Okay, there's the app. So thanks for that, Jester. I'll make a copy of that. Get that in. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this because I want to make sure I get this to all of my devices, not just my laptop. That's not what I want. Hold on. Let's just click on the link, see if it'll take me out to a browser in Edge. Yes, I'm sure I want to leave YouTube. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I'll go ahead and bookmark this so I don't forget, so I get it on my laptop if nothing else. I'll have to send that so I can get it on my iPad too at the very least. But that is everything in the box for Vantage. I think one more game to unbox, and then I'll be caught up. I'll be all caught up on all of my unboxings, and we'll have our last game for the evening. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.